Last time out, another clean sheet. You picked up a few of those this season. How does that feel?
It feels good, man. It's just motivation to the next game. So,
last time out, 3 quick goals in like 10 minutes. Does that change your outlook as a goalkeeper when suddenly, it's feeling a little easier maybe?
I don't know about easier, but mentally it's almost like we won the game. So it takes a little bit more pressure off you.
Does it still feel good in those situations to keep the clean sheet?
Yeah, it feels really good, really, really good.
You got Miami coming in tomorrow. Bonfiglio, one of their forwards, has 11 goals, tied for the league lead. In terms of your preparation for a game, knowing that they've got a player of that quality, does that affect you, or do you approach it in the same way?
Just approach it the same way. It doesn't really matter to me how many goals a guy has and stuff like that. He still has to come and score on me. So, it just doesn't really do anything.
You've had some good results as a team over the last few weeks, over the last month. You need to keep piling those points up to make the playoffs. How are you feeling about the mentality, the vibe around the team now, maybe as compared to a month ago or 6 weeks ago?
It's pressure, but I believe we could do it. We just got to keep working hard. So we started off slow, but we finally got the momentum and we finally got the goal scorer and stuff like that. So we should be good.
Hey, Marlon, how are you feeling at this point in the season?
I'm good. Body's feeling good. The team's refreshed after we got the mental health break a few weeks ago, and I think since then we've come back with a great momentum, and looking forward to putting another streak of wins together here at home.
You mentioned taking a little break there. Obviously, the season can turn into a really long grind, especially 3 games in 8 days, those kinds of things. How important are those little breaks to get away?
Yeah, it's good, man. Especially with the summer here, it could be hot. We train in the mornings. Sometimes on turf where it's a little bit hotter. So, just to be able to get away from games, get away from training, go somewhere and just recharge the batteries, whether it's with friends or family for a few days and come back into it. And I think, everybody was looking forward to that break, and, we came back and you could see everybody was charged up, ready to go again. And I think this past week was a result of that, performance here at home against a good team in New Mexico. And that was probably for me the best result of the season so far.
You mentioned that game, you mentioned that result. Talking about the positivity, the pressure, you forced that turnover, pick up the assist on Mo's first goal. Talk about that game a little bit more.
It was everything that we had, planned for throughout the week. The coaches had us very prepared. Every day of training last week was it was really high quality. Everybody was dialed in. Everybody knew their roles. And we went to the game with a confidence that we knew that if we could score the first goal, that we could get a win from that game. And what I really liked that we didn't let down. We didn't let up after we scored the first goal. We wanted to get the next one and then the next one. And credit to the fans for sticking with us throughout this period of the season. And that win was for them.
Turn around, you got back. You got Miami here. They're coming in. They've been a team that's had some hot stretches this season. Cooled off a little bit lately. What are you expecting from them tomorrow night?
Yeah, it's going to be another big game for us. I think we're coming into a period of the season, the second half of the season, where we're going to have a stretch of a lot of games in a short amount of time. So trying to keep everybody's body as fresh as possible, using the depth of the group that we have. And, it's good when you get to play at home in front of these fans. And it's going to be the same energy that we brought out, the last game. We could bring that out tomorrow here against a good Miami team who we know can pose similar threats that New Mexico did. We'll give ourselves a good chance to win the game.
You mentioned obviously having kind of a lot of games in a short space of time. This week you turn around real quickly, head down to Birmingham.
Right.
Both these are pretty critical games, 2 teams that are right ahead of Hartford in the standings right now. How do you approach that to try and get the maximum points from both of these games?
Well, I think right now the message within the group is taking it one game at a time, but we know both of these games are basically 6-point games each against conference teams, and you win one game, you jump them, and these are both teams that are in front of us right now, and to get to where our goals are for this team, these are must-win games for us. And like I said, we take it one game at a time, one half at a time, and we're going to need our fans tomorrow here to cheer us on and back us continually. So we'll see where we put ourselves going into the next game.
All right, Brendan, last week 4-0 over New Mexico, great result. What's your reflection on that after a week's time?
Yeah, really good, but just one result, so if we can put those type of performances that's now Loudon and New Mexico, where we've looked like that, the games felt like that, we created a ton of chances. We were just really proactive when we regain the ball. They're a good possession team, and we push them hard. Miami has an element of that too, but even more quality with the guys that have come out of MLS and, some really high-end players like Blanco in their group and a really hot young forward. So it's going to be even more important tomorrow that we're concentrated on defending as a group.
Miami comes into this game, they were hot earlier in the season, they've been a little bit of a slide later. You mentioned Bonfiglio kind of has been the key to whatever success they've been having. How are you feeling about that club coming in, about him as a forward, his ability to grab those goals?
Yeah, he's big-bodied, he runs well, he finishes well with both feet out of the air, so, he presents a number of different challenges. We're going to have to be tight as a back three and make sure it's not him that breaks our last line, make them really break us down if they want to find a goal tomorrow.
You mentioned being proactive in the last game. You've had games, the Loudoun game, Indy on the road, where that's shown up. And then just kind of struggle to maintain that over a couple of game period.
Yep.
What's the key to taking that performance and translating it again tomorrow night?
The positive energy around the group helps quite a bit. We have everyone healthy for the first time for the most part, bar Jack and Jordan, but we're getting really close with those guys as well. So I think we're in a position now where the whole team is available, and that makes all the difference in the world. You've seen it with some other teams when key guys are out for long stretches, it changes the complexion of your team. But having Kyle be able to come off the bench and score again, having Mo find two and hit the post twice, having Meach find one, we're firing on all cylinders right now.
You mentioned those three guys, Momo, Michi, Kyle, obviously the key scorers for this club. The goals weren't really there in the early part of the season, but they've been there a little bit more lately. What's changed there?
I think in midfield we're just playing forward faster when we regain possession. I think when I watched Miami play Pittsburgh, I thought Pittsburgh should have had the better of that game in the first half and just missed on transitions that you would expect, guys at this level to hit on. And I think if we hit on those transitions, there's an opportunity for the game to look more like New Mexico than some of the ones where we were misfiring in front of goal.
Thinking about those transitions in the New Mexico game, getting those turnovers in key places. Obviously, New Mexico did make some errors, but Marlon getting in, getting the ball turned over. Is that something that translates from game to game, or is that more of a single game, team matchup?
A little bit of a matchup because they definitely overplayed at times, and we knew they would. I think Miami have similar qualities at times where they're going to want to play in tight spaces, and they're capable. So we have to be really on point about squeezing them out of those tight spaces and then making them get out and run with us.
After Miami, quick turnaround, heading to Birmingham over the weekend. Since the last time you played them, they've hired Mark Briggs, a guy with a lot of experience in this league. What have you seen from them since the last time you played them that might change how that game goes?
Oh, his forwards are working like dogs now. They look entirely different to me. Those guys are hunting for the ball. They're getting out in transition on dead sprints. So that game's going to be a little more cagey. That's a huge field down there with no real environment. It can be a very difficult place to play because there's so much space, and you're not really feeding off a crowd of any sort down there. So the game can tend to slow down and catch you off guard at times in transition moments, and I think he has his team really dialed in on those things.
You and Mark have both been around the league a long time, two of the most experienced managers. What does he bring to that club?
Oh, he's just a great on-field coach. We did our senior licenses together, and we talk all the time. So we're talking about our teams and how things are going, and you continue, like I mentioned Bob a few weeks ago, you continue to learn from the guys around you for sure. And I would count Mark in that group for me. I think the opportunity to build kind of a new rivalry there, it's not geographic, it's not as easy as Rhode Island, but it is. They have a very experienced team, and we have an up and coming team that's probably at their best point in the club's history in terms of when we pop, we can really pop now. But we need to figure out how to make that a consistent theme, home and away.
You look at these two games, these are two clubs that sit right above Hartford in the standings right now. Points in this week takes you right into the playoff picture. that's been a situation you were in a couple of weeks ago with the Tampa and Rhode Island games. Didn't quite get the results there. How do you convert these opportunities into those points?
Well, this is Tampa all over again. We have a huge opportunity in that one. We left all sorts of goals on the table, and we just hope that tomorrow night we've learned that lesson a few weeks later, and we're really hunting for goals.